The Dad Squad almost broke up, just so everyone knows. It was tense.
You guys could have lost the whole podcast.
Yeah, you could have lost a lot of things.
Yeah, the whole Dad Squad could have been dead.
Tell us how much you appreciated this, because we almost died, bitch.
Dicks out,
A lot of dicks
out,
and
lot
tits
of
and
just
assholes.
Simulated sex.
I had been robbed very specifically while I was asleep. Somebody was drunk, and they came and
Could you imagine?
I was imagining.
What's up, you crusty fucks?
Oh
I wish
my God, that
voice
was-
didn't sound like that.
My God, that was probably the scariest intro we've ever had on this show. I apologize.
Was that a goblin or was that?
See, usually I handle the intro, folks, but
Yeah, I did
drama,
it better. I
apparently.
did it better. It's clear that this is how we'll be moving
just
forward.
because you scarred more people with it doesn't mean you did it better per se.
I think that's a good testament to how our weekend went and what we're about to get into.
I mean, it was there was a lot that
I
happened.
sound like a witch whose throat was shredded with a cheese
There's a
grater.
lot to unpack.
There is a lot. But before we get into that, we are
The Dapper Dads.
What if I was just like, what are we?
Who are we
We,
again? I don't even remember.
We're
who
different
we are.
people now. Episode 43, if we're correct about that.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back. Remember, we used to say welcome back a lot?
Yeah.
So, welcome back again. This is, if I'm going to be completely honest, this is possibly the time I've wanted to record this the least.
Yeah, I can't.
Ever.
And I hate admitting that, especially to people listening to it right now. But man, this is
very exhausted.
Don't get
We're
your hopes
recording
up.
on a Tuesday, the Tuesday before you hear this,
Which
if
feels
you're listening on the day.
disgusting if we're being
And
completely
then
honest.
we'll be
with you.
recording again in 3 days.
I don't even know what we're gonna talk about in 3 days.
Our pure hatred for each other.
Probably.
But what you can do is go to www.thedapperdads.com, find every fucking thing in a tight, nifty little orgasmic package, including our new shop that has a lot of new shit you should go buy. 3 new shirt designs, some old goodies, more stuff coming very soon.
Free shit when you order.
Yeah, free goodies when you order. dapperdadspodcast@gmail.com if you want to email us things. 4027 Dapper, that's 402-732-7737. Give us a call, leave us a voicemail, some text, some good shit. No one told us whether they jerk off with their eyes open or closed, so I see our fans aren't true fans.
I mean, maybe it's a shame thing, but if that's the thing, I don't know why you feel shame. If we can talk about it on the show, you can just tell us on
you
Twitter.
can always be anonymous.
What is your fucking mama telling you on Twitter?
www.thedapperdads.com. Click on submissions. You can enter in any name and any email that's not even real emails.
Shout out to
big dick at or small dick at bigdick.com.
2 kids in a coat
2 kids in a
at
coat.
smalldick at bigdick.com.
So yeah, like that, you can do whatever you want, and we have no way to know who that is. So tell us about your jerk off sessions. I'm guessing everyone keeps one eye open and one eye closed, like a Popeye situation.
If it's truly that bipartisan where no one had to answer us, we can only assume.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair assumption. But do follow us on Twitter at DapperDads, and then go over and follow us on Instagram at dapperdadspodcast. We'll be posting some pictures and whatnot from this weekend, and boy, are they erotic.
They're juicy.
So yeah, we're gonna, I guess, get into that. We as you might have heard, we made a little trip to
Mecca,
the land of 12 lakes, Minnesota, Minneapolis specifically, technically St. Paul a little bit.
Land of hip hop, beauty, and alcohol.
Yeah, land of some other shit.
Lots of other shit.
Lots of shit.
It was
your first time.
It was my very first time, and I just want to say that I love Minneapolis. If you are from the show, if you were listening to the show, this is how it's going to go. This is how it's going to go. This is how the whole episode's going to go. Just get ready. I just want you to know.
Slim's going to say
Slim's
close to the right thing,
oh my
but
God.
it makes it completely wrong. It's always just like one word off, but it's the word that impacts the sentence the most.
Yeah, how do you think
completely changes the trajectory?
If you just didn't describe my life to a fucking T, I don't know who did.
Everyone.
So if you are from Minneapolis and you are listening to the show, bless your heart. I love your city. Your city was very welcoming to me. It was very kind. It was very giving. It gave me lots of beautiful gifts. It was so nice.
So yeah, for reference, it's for us about like 5 or 6 hour drive.
I'd say five.
It's usually 5 up and 6 or more back. because traffic and bullshit.
Yeah, that drive back.
But yeah, we got up there Friday. Had a dainty little Hampton Inn, right in a very good location.
Nicest hotel I've stayed in a while, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
it was very nice, newer.
Made some nice dad soup in the jacuzzi.
Yeah, that was our first thing, because I was in charge of booking the hotel, which, again, I think I did a pretty good job.
I want to give you a round of applause for everything this weekend, because not only the planning was impeccable, the events were impeccable, there was nothing but fun the entire time. You truly did a wonderful job, sir.
Yeah, I try to do only the best, and I think you know me, I always win.
You always win.
But yeah, that was and obviously for reference, it was also including Young Kurt and Matt the God. Shout out to both of their beautiful little hearts for everything.
Just the most beautiful weekend.
So yeah, the dad squad was in full effect. I can't tell if I'm hearing static on my voice or that's just in my head at this point.
It's for sure in your head, because I don't hear it.
It's just like a little. It's with all my words.
Okay, wait, hold on. It's you.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
It's definitely you.
Anyway, so with my static-filled brain, their only request from everyone was a hot tub. That was like, literally, I'm like...
We just wanted to relax.
Yeah, and I was also down, because we were looking into Airbnbs, which I've never even actually done.
No,
and it makes me uncomfortable.
It makes me nervous,
I guess we've got a situation like that coming up in the future that we'll eventually let the people in on. But yeah, it always just seems weird and like awkward. But I was looking into it, and the rates did seem to make a lot more sense. But then, yeah, literally everyone was like, no Airbnb unless it has a hot tub. So we went with the hotel, and that hot tub was very nice.
It was big enough for 4 dads.
It was very big. The pool was shockingly small.
Shocking,
like weird.
I mean, I wasn't
Still
expecting
nice.
an Olympic-sized swimming pool, but still something.
But it was like 2 hot tubs, basically.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, we were more in the hot tub, but I do like to go back and forth.
Get
and
the
it's
cool
like,
and the heat, you know.
Yeah, because it was fucking. Well, first off, Kurt drove most of the way up, and then I finished the tail end.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so goddamn hot in that car on the way up there. This whole weekend ended up being like mid-90s, which is the opposite of what we all wanted.
Yeah, but we handled it like pros, I think.
Yeah, and it really wasn't that terrible, but it had its moments, and one of them was in that car. It was just fucking
like on the way there. It's just like,
hot.
why wasn't the AC working?
I don't know, and I think it drove me crazy, and then I made the mistake of like right when we were like once it's that last hour to a half an hour of basically any drive, but especially that one, that's the longest drive I do. It just makes me be like, I just want to fucking be there. And so Spend It by 2 Chainz came on, which I only added to my MP3 player because it dropped like the first year I went back to Soundset. Mm-hmm. And it was like the anthem, like we made up a dance and just listened to it the whole goddamn weekend. So it brought back good memories and seemed like the perfect timing. Then I went into Dreams and Nightmares, and me and you, I don't know why I did that, because I was just screaming the whole thing.
Yeah, we were both just screaming the whole time. It was beautiful, though.
And then I put on Heat, and I was and screamed some more, and then I thought I was gonna faint. And again, I didn't explain it to everyone, and I was driving. So I'm like, maybe don't scream 3 songs in a row in like 95-degree heat. After like I woke up at 4:30 in the morning that day, and we had been in the car for like more than 6 hours because we had errands to run everything. Mm-hmm. So I was at my breaking point.
Yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, so that pool and hot tub really helped.
Was necessary.
Loosen the juices, we'll say.
Then we hit the town in proper dad fashion.
Yeah, you got something to eat. We got something to eat, but I got fucked. But if you want to shout out your place.
I want to shout out the Herbivorous Butcher. If you're ever up in Minneapolis, go check them out. They are a vegan delicatessen. So what they do is they offer vegan style at home meats you can cook. So you can go in there and get like hamburgers, steak, like pastrami, pepperoni, like lunch meats. They have jerky that they do. They also have different condiments you can get. They have like vegan mayonnaise, vegan marshmallows, things that you normally can't get.
I saw ranch.
A range of things. A range of ranch. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it was a ranch.
And then what I ended up getting a cold cut sandwich, a hot sandwich, and then a tank. The tank is amazingly comfortable. Perfect tank top. It's
ironically made only out of animals,
which I thought
was a weird
100% cotton, which is 100% wool, sheep's wool.
I seen them. Yeah, they were shaving the sheep
while
and then just killing them, and they were like, "Well, we can't use the meat."
And then I saw them grinding it up, and I was like, "Wait a minute!" And they were like, "No."
And then they were
not
laughing while you ate.
Yeah,
laughing and pointing at you. Look at that dumb motherfucker.
Look at that stupid idiot
eating animals and shit.
No, the whole staff was incredibly smart, friendly. They were knowledgeable about everything. They were quick. The food was fantastic. So if you're ever up in the Minneapolis area, I'm shouting them out. Yeah. Go check them out. They are 100% worth your time and money.
And then I had been longing after, we'll shout them out too, Deep Fried Goodness, which is basically a place that deep fries everything. If you listen, you know I love my chicken strips and fries with the toast for no reason. And so this is literally like a block from our hotel. They have chicken strips. They have like fried cookie dough, fried tacos. They're just throwing shit in the fryer. So we had a hectic time parking and walked up just to discover that they were closed and it would not fit into our schedule the next 2 days. So fuck them. Someone broke their door and it could have been me. I know, I mean, not like that. I mean, it was broken when we arrived, but if it hadn't been broken, maybe I would have broken it because I was very upset. So we ate Raisin Cane's, which is also very good fast food
Smelled
chicken.
Good.
But I had bigger hopes for the other one, but it did the job. Then we popped over to Surly, which is one of, if not my favorite brewery up in Minneapolis. It's gigantic and beautiful.
It's a fantastic
Been there
brewery.
A bunch of times. They make one of my favorite beers, the Coffee Bender. But yeah, it was fucking packed, but it was
pretty much everywhere we went was fucking packed. It was Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. There was a few spots that were a little more chill, but
like that one bar.
We'll get into.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I don't even know which one, but I think I have my hand.
You know exactly which one I'm talking about.
But yeah, so shout out Surly. That's one I definitely recommend. I've been there like 3 or 4 times and always had good shit. The food is a little expensive, so that's why we ate before. Then we went to, I don't even remember. We're just going to get ahead of it and say we went to, I think, like 10 breweries total over the 2 days.
Overall, yeah, it was quite a few.
I don't even remember the names of some of them.
No.
If they're important, we might. This one, we had an incident and it sucked. And this was the one I was looking most forward to. It had a golden coffee beer, which is like my shit. Because especially with it being so fucking hot out, you need like a light coffee beer, and I didn't even know it existed until not that long ago. I found one called Bean Flicker that I've been drinking a bunch of, so I was hoping something like that. It wasn't really that good of a beer.
It was all
popped
right.
in, had one left, and then what did we do? Go to the Rooftop Brewery? Was that the next one?
Yeah, we were up there on the rooftop for a while drinking. Yeah,
that one is Lynn Lake. It's on Lindale and Lake. And it's like an old movie theater or just theater that was converted into a brewery. Beers were good. It had a nice rooftop, which is one of my favorite things. With
drinking on a rooftop?
Drinking on a rooftop.
Absolutely. It's one of my new favorite
Doesn't
things.
have to even be like a brewery or bar rooftop. I like to drink on people's rooftops. Just get me on a rooftop.
Invite the Dapper Dads to your rooftop and we will come drink beer with you on.
I've drank on rooftops that aren't even
supposed to be drank on?
No, not at all. And it was a very good time. Some of the best times. So yeah, get me on more rooftops 2018. That's what I'm preaching. But yeah, I was getting a little drunk there, if we're gonna be completely honest.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Having some good talks.
Great talks out on that patio with that sun going down with that beautiful sunset.
Yeah, it was very nice.
It's like that beautiful red sunset with the moon.
Yeah. And then across, like, not even the street, just like the next building over was another rooftop
which we dubbed Rooftop B.
It looked lame, and ours looked cool. So yeah, we started a little beef. I don't know what that place was.
But then we eventually made it over to that rooftop, didn't we?
No, we went to another rooftop.
Ah, yes.
We then went to Up Down, which is a arcade bar where we proceeded to play 0 arcade games.
Because they were all full.
Yeah, so it was very busy. It was getting later. And they also had a rooftop. I was also duped into buying 2 beers, which also proceeded to be a trend for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, you got duped into buying 2 of a lot of things.
Yeah. So I don't even understand what happened. I was a little bit drunk, but then I was like, I want a beer. And she was like, do you want 2 beers? And I was like, no. And she's like, it's a better deal. And I was like, okay. But she never told me what the deal was or what the price was. And then it was like $12. And the beer was like $6. So I'm like, you just made me buy 2 beers. There wasn't even a deal there. That's just the price of 2 beers. So shout out to that bitch. 2 beers I definitely didn't eat. Then I was very drunk.
You were very, very
on the
drunk.
top of that rooftop.
And then we decided to get very drunk and walk like a mile across town.
Yeah, which in retrospect, I think that was a good thing because I was so drunk. So it helped me not be like a complete disaster.
Yeah.
But yeah, we walked over to a dance party. I don't want to say the name of it because it ended up being underwhelming. I think they were trying something new on a new night, and it didn't go good because they've heard things about their normal dance party. But it was in a very weird building. I was mildly scolded walking in.
Mildly.
Then I went up to the bar, and the man was holding a jar of mustard, and I was like, "Can I get a beer?" And he goes, "I'm a little busy at the second." And I was like, "Okay." So I just went in the back patio, which was like 6 different patios mashed together
into one, which was unique, and we were just kind of sitting out there talking, and the gentleman came up and started a small fire.
In a fireplace, not like a gentleman came up and started to burn the building down. And yeah, we sat there for a while with the fire, and that man had some talks. Finally got a beer. Their 3 beer options were
Red Stripe, Guinness, and Heineken.
Yeah, which I think is the weirdest trio of selection.
Certainly not the most normal.
No. I went Red Stripe because
You all went Red Stripe.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely not in a Guinness mood in the heat and the long
and
day.
Heineken, forget about
Heineken, it would have been my
beer.
second choice. I don't mind one now and then.
I can't stand Heineken.
It's just weird and very specific. So, Red Stripe it was. No, I have a whole lot to say about that. We basically sat there. The dance party didn't really get dancing.
There was that one guy that was dancing.
Yeah, when we decided to finally leave, there was a man dancing. I also went to the bathroom, and I was taking a piss, and I glanced in the sink, and there was a sign in the sink for some reason that was like, "Don't use this bathroom." And I was like, "Oh, a little late for should-haves."
Yeah.
Yeah, then we were gonna try to go somewhere else, but then you guys were I had to drive, and you guys were weirdly out of control.
Yeah.
With officer, I don't remember the name of the license plate.
What was it? Officer.
I want to say Jankum or something.
No, I have a picture of it on my phone, but I don't want to see it on my phone during the show.
We all have that picture for some reason.
And I didn't remember it until the next morning either, and I just opened it up and said it, and you were like, "God damn it."
Because I thought there was a cop behind me, and then I didn't have the lights on because Kurt's car is weird, and then I fucking pull up behind a car to try to get the GPS to work, and you were like, "That's a cop." And I was like, "Where?" And you were like, "Officer Jankum," or whatever it was. And I'm like, "No, it's not." And you all were just...
Man, I was tripping, though.
Yeah, you all were going crazy. And, like, that's one of those times where you're like, I have to be the responsible one. Shut the fuck up. Like a car full of children.
Isn't that the worst?
Yeah. And then we didn't even end up going anywhere else.
We just went back to the hotel and went to bed.
Well, it was late.
I think with the drive and everything, had enough. I think we got enough partying in between the hours of 4 and midnight.
I think the walk back really made me tired because I got back to the hotel and I passed out pretty quickly. You crashed, which isn't my.
I also want all of our listeners to know that we kept our hotel at a piping 60 degrees the entire trip.
See, this is what happened when we showed up and got to our room. It was very hot, like I said,
very hot. And
so I was like, "How low does this go?" It was warm in the room. It said it went down to 45. So I'm like, let's just do it to see what happens.
Just try it.
I don't know what 45 feels like. It'd probably feel good for at least a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went swimming and we came back and it was not at 45 degrees. It was only at like 60, like low 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And then we changed it again and then it went up higher for some reason.
Yeah.
So then when we left, it was, in the 50s. And we went to bed, and I think it was 55, and it felt incredible at the time.
Okay, I had to get up and piss a lot that night, and I specifically remember seeing Matt the God at one point awake. And Kurt had a fit about the sheet on the bed. He just wanted the comforter, remember?
Yeah,
and so
also have that issue.
I think Matt was just so cold that he had his sheet from the bed, and then he also took the other sheet and wrapped himself up like a cocoon and then got underneath the comforter.
Well, he was also stealing the comforter real hard that whole night.
Yeah, because he was probably freezing.
For reference, me and Matt the God had to share a bed. Slim and young Kurd. I almost called him Little Kurd, which is weird.
I feel weird sharing a bed with him when you call him Little Kurd.
Yeah, that's the only time he's Little Kurd is when he's in bed with you.
You ain't kidding.
Yeah, so it was a
Schmack his little curd around.
Interesting group dynamic, you can say.
And that lady looked at us when she was like,
Yeah,
two queen size
I check in and she gave me the weirdest look and goes, "You want the 2 queen size beds?" And then glances at all 3 of you, and I'm like, "Bitch, yeah,
Yeah, what?
we
Two,
gonna fucking cuddle."
what? 2 men can't share a bed together at night and not have it be weird?
Yeah, it was.
She's
fucking,
clearly never slept in the trap.
I don't know what was up with her. It did seem like she was getting lost in my eyes, which I understand.
As we all are.
Beautiful eyes.
As we all are wont to do. I got lost in your eyes on the rooftop at one point.
I know you told me, you were like, "No homo," and I was like, "We can't say that," and you were like, "Pause, but your eyes are beautiful," and I was like, "This is such a good day."
This is such a good day.
But
you do have beautiful eyes. For those of you that don't know, Drama has insanely beautiful eyes. They're blue on the outsides with like it's like bright green on the inside.
But then they turn yellow on the inside sometimes.
It's so nice.
Keep track of Drama's eyes. Don't let them get out of here. I can also shake them.
Yeah.
Ask me in person. Or don't.
Shake them at me.
Hold on.
Okay, that's a thing that you can do.
Did you not know that?
No.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's not weird.
8% of the world can do it.
It's shocking that you know the number.
Yeah, because for the longest time, I never thought it was weird. But then I've only me and my dad can do it. That's who taught me. And then I met one kid in my life that could do it. And so one day I was like, maybe it is weird. And then I Googled it. And yeah, it is like very obscure. Because my dad also told me when I was a kid, I used to do it all the time to like everybody. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "You got to stop." I went to the doctor and they said, if you do that too much, it can eventually snap the cord and your eye will just roll back in your head. So I didn't do it for like 12 years. And then when we were still on good terms not that long ago, I referenced it to him and he was like, "Oh, I made that shit up because you just wouldn't stop doing it. And I don't think it could be good." And I Googled it and they're like, "Yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing it. It's just very weird." But yeah, so come look at my fucking eyes. Anyway, the thing I wanted to say is that night when I woke up, it was extremely cold. Matt had a little bit more blanket than I would have liked him to. And I woke up at 5 and I looked at the TV and it was the brightest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It was a big TV.
Yeah.
And it was bright and it was loud and I was like, "You monsters." And I got up and I pissed. And then just picture me running. I couldn't find the fucking remote anywhere. And I'm not going to like dig in bed number B. We'll call it bed number B, where you and little Curd were all wet and whatever.
First of all.
And I'm not going to go digging in that cesspool. So just picture me standing at like 5 in the morning doing that thing where you run your hands along the outside. Like, where the fuck are the buttons to turn this motherfucker off? And it took me so long because it ended being right in the middle, one of those ones that are like the diagonal
directional
thing.
Things, yeah.
So then I'm just standing up there like fingering the bottom of it. Watch the video if it's working. If not, fuck you. And I finally turned it off. And then I was just like, I got up and turned the thermometer up like 5 degrees. And then I woke up like 30 minutes later and I was like, this is still horrible.
Yeah.
And you also, I think that was the morning you woke up and pissed. And then I watched you try to close. There was like a 3-inch gap of the curtains where light was just...
Not even 3. It was like a half
little
an inch.
Crack where light was just beaming through. And it was like right at me.
And I kept trying to close it and it wouldn't fit.
Yeah, so I just see Slim go to the bathroom. And this is what ended up waking me up for the whole day. Because since I fell asleep first and like you got up, I thought maybe you were going to get up at that point. And I ended up sitting there being the only one up for like an hour. But yeah, just picture a big, tired, half asleep Slim closing the curtains and then like looking at them and then they'd pop open and then I'd see you close them like a different way and they'd like wait longer and it seemed like you were like, okay, and then they'd pop open. It was like a cartoon. It happened like 5 times. I was laughing out loud watching it because you were just like,
yeah, I could hear you in the background like
yeah, it was like, this isn't, I would watch this for like
that's when I finally went to bed as I heard you go like too loud and I was like, fuck him. And so I was like, I just lay back down.
It was like the last one and you did it and it looked like you were like, okay, this is it, and you like took a step and it popped
yeah
up. And I thought you were gonna be like, God damn damn it. It looked like one of those things.
Yeah, but I was trying to be conscious about the curd corpse next to me, because if you've never seen him sleep, oh my God.
It is shocking.
It is, especially in a vehicle, like when you don't know that he's sleeping.
I found him sleeping in vehicles in like 100-degree weather, just wet, and I've had to shake him awake, and he doesn't wake up.
What?
Like the times I found his lifeless
What do you mean
body.
you found him in a 100-degree car?
He was
sleeping.
We went to CJ's. I like didn't stumble up. We went to CJ's, and I don't know if he was just so fucked up or what it was. You know, he gets sleepy a lot. So he went out to nap in the car, but he ended up napping for like 3 hours, and it was like 90 degrees out. So in a car, he didn't want to roll the windows down at CJ's parking lot. I went to get him because he had put like $10 in the jukebox, and the songs were finally coming on after the longest time. I went to get him, so me and Matt, I opened the door, and he's just sprawled out, and he's soaking wet, and I'm shaking him, and he's just like, and I'm like, this is fucking dead. And finally I was like, yo, and he woke up, and he was like, just like 10 more minutes.
Oh my God.
No, you can't be in here like this. And he did for like, I think I left before they got him out of the car. So yeah, he's a little
Jesus.
He's a little napper.
We're gonna talk about this next time I see you, Cole. I know you're listening.
Yeah, and it's concerning. But then day number 2, Saturday, was packed to the gills with
Breweries.
Yeah, basically breweries.
It was just breweries.
Adventures of all sorts.
We went to this cool little like knick-knack store.
Yeah, it's like a surplus store. I've been to one before. I guess that's like the term.
Yeah.
It's just like,
surplus
the most
of
random
things.
shit.
Like spark plugs, bumper stickers, military bags,
even
hardware,
like weirder stuff, little
wigs,
vials, like
droppers,
marbles.
Matt got some iodine testers or something, or some acidity testers or
It's
something.
like the weirdest shit.
Yeah.
I love those stores though, like digging through them is crazy.
Because you can find some of the coolest, craziest little shit you never knew
it's
you
usually
needed.
super cheap.
Yeah.
And like really,
Went to a really sweet ass record store.
Yeah, that was the next spot. I want to say Agartha Records,
something like that. Yeah,
it's over on University Avenue. I got fucking beautiful No Worries, Yes Lord, Vinyl Me Please edition,
green
number
correct,
yellow, a real light yellow, number 46 out of 1,000.
God bless.
Very exciting. They had like Chance bootlegs.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a Frank bootleg.
Kanye bootlegs.
Yeah, a bunch of Kanye bootlegs. They had like every genre, a lot of good like diversity. They had a room with Dollar Records, but it was fucking hot in that room.
And it would look like it was a nightmare to go through.
Oh yeah, they did have it like the sides up so you could just read without digging, which I appreciated. But yeah, I didn't feel like even getting into it.
Yeah.
They did have the first pressing of Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction with the original band cover, which is definitely one of my like top 10 holy grails. So if anyone wants to just give me that or something, I didn't even ask the price on it because I might have fucked around and bought it there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's not cheap. But the guy was nice as fuck. Also,
so very nice.
Yeah, big selection. Definitely like one of the better record stores I've been to in a long time. Then we got into the breweries. I don't remember what the first one was. Pretty just typical, right in the middle. Then we went to, I think it's Black Stack, and this was what I thought was gonna be nice turned into a very heated.
With a game of Sorry?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very heated game.
The Dad Squad almost broke up, just so everyone knows. It was tense. It was tight.
Yeah, so if you have a group of friends and you really want to test that friendship, try
Play
the game Sorry.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed my beers there too. I can't remember.
The beers were my favorite ones of the trip that we had. That
Really?
was my favorite beer that I had.
Nice. Yeah, I can't remember what
it was
one
like that
It was
dragon fruit beer that I had. Me and Matt got the same thing because it was like super sweet, but it was still like super beer like.
Yeah, I got a coffee one because that's what you want to do in 95-degree weather is drink coffee beers all day. But yeah, we started with trying to play Simpsons trivia because me, Slim, and Matt the God are pretty avid fans. There wasn't a board, so it turned into Kurt just asking us the trivia questions and us screaming them out. And then broke out the game of Sorry. I haven't played Sorry in
I can't even remember if I ever did. If I did, I was a small kid, you know.
Yeah, I haven't played since I was a child, and yeah, I don't know who created that fucking game, but he's just a monster. The game makes you into
It makes you
an
turn on your.
animal.
I almost choked Kurt to death.
I wanted to choke Kurt.
Because he was talking mad.
He gets
shit.
very cocky before there's even, because that's one of those games you can't even be cocky about, because you can go from like first
0
place
to
ready
100.
to win to like a homeless piece of shit.
Yeah. And sorry.
Yeah. Fucking it was
a nightmare. It tested
was very
us.
intense. I think there's some footage you guys might see.
I think
of
somebody
that.
actually commented while we were sitting there, and they
Yeah.
were like, "Oh no, that's how you play." Sorry.
So yeah, 2 people behind us were watching how intense it was getting, and the inappropriate things that were being screamed.
It's an adult brewery.
Yeah. And so yeah, try out Sorry if you hate yourself and your friends. See who makes it. Matt the God won, just for the record. So
Of course he did.
send hate mail to him at dapperdadspodcast@gmail.com. Attention, Matt the God.
And we will forward it.
Yeah, we will get it along to him. He also said he can kill anyone in Sorry, so take him up on that.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, I don't fucking never did that.
Never said that. He's gonna be like, you guys, I didn't say that. Now people just keep asking me to play Sorry.
Yeah, that's all he ever gets. He's like, I was at CJ's and it was just a bunch of people who wanted to play me in Sorry. I'm sorry, who wanted to play me in Sorry? That's how you have to say it.
Yeah, now you have to say it as a game of Sorry.
I just picture like a remodeled set with that old man's face on it.
In the very middle, just Sorry. You have to spin it to see whose turn it is first. Sorry.
But yeah, they had a ton of games. It was definitely a
Whistles
nice
through
place.
the
They had
Sorry.
they had a really interesting furniture as well. I got
that.
what I would like to say was the best seat in the building.
There was some very comfy
that bitch
chairs.
was cranking
Oh,
back
yeah.
like that. Yeah, we switched chairs. Slim threatened to leave the podcast if he didn't get my chair.
Yeah,
so.
but that chair looks like it's more suitable for my body size and shape, so I want to try that chair out.
I guess this one does crank back.
Yeah, you
20 minutes
crank
of us quietly cranking back, and
No,
not
just-
sexually either.
and not even like Soldier Boy, even just quietly. Just,
Yes. I like that. That felt nice. So yeah, that was a good one. After that, I want to say was,
turns into a blur.
It was I remember what one it was. I don't remember the name. Nothing about it was memorable
Was it
except
the
there
one
was
with the dog?
pretzels and a dog.
Yeah,
There's a lot of dogs in, because there's dogs in the other ones as well. Basically every brewery had a dog in it, which I
is
am
so
pro-
nice. Yeah,
pro
we're
dogs
all-
in any building. Beautiful puppers of all shapes and sorts. Yeah, that brewery, like, and I spilled my beer on accident at the end. They had some nice pretzels. That was really about it. It's interesting how when you go to a lot of them just fall by the wayside. You're like, it was
Yeah.
just another place where we drank a beer.
Yeah. There was that one of those places had a beer that I could not drink for the life of me.
Yeah, we'll
Like,
get
was
to it. That was the
undrinkable.
last brewery,
Was
so
it?
that was a good note that the last brewery had an undrinkable beer for you. Yeah, then we went to Bajas, which had a decent beer and had a cutout of Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse, which really touched my heart.
Also, I didn't. No, I can't talk about that on the show.
What?
I can't even do a thing with the video where
I'll bleep it out. Just say it real quick.
That like freaked me
Oh
out.
yeah,
'cause I was
okay,
drunk.
yeah, we can't talk about
Can't
that.
talk about that? Okay.
No, not like that.
Okay, well, I was like, how do you even? But like, it was a thing. Like, I was just
I know,
sitting there.
yeah,
It was,
it
and then I
was-
was like, ugh.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
There was a lot of things.
But yeah, we also just played with a dime for a long time there.
Yeah, we did.
because
It
there
turns
was a
out-
dime on the table.
Turns out we're just monkeys. Where if
It
you just
turns-
push a button that makes us feel good, we'll do it till we die.
It turns out that Kurt spends some of his free time learning how to spin any coin and then stop it with his
I
finger.
just want to compile the list of things we have so far on him on this episode. So far, he has he sleeps in 100-degree cars
Yeah.
and cannot be awoken.
He just sleeps lifelessly.
sleeps
I wanna
life,
say.
but in 100-degree cars.
Well,
That's just
that's not like
that's
his
such a
preferred
vision.
method. I
That's
don't
such
think.
a vision,
But
though.
he will. Yeah, he'll just sleep wherever he needs to sleep.
So thus far, he sleeps wherever he wants to sleep and is lifeless unless roused strongly, and then also just fucks around with dimes all day.
Yeah, because I was like, wow, do you practice? And I thought he was going to be like, no. And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay. I feel like he just practiced
Yeah.
the weirdest shit. And he was very good at it. And then, yeah, then we, for some reason, Who said it would be a good idea to get crazy bread? Whose blood is on their hands?
Mine. I have the blood on my
This
hands.
did not go good.
Okay, well, you guys ate something. You guys had food somewhere. And
We
I
had a
didn't get
couple
food.
pretzels, like I said. The brewery prior to that, we had a few pretzels.
And I was getting a little too drunk, and so I needed to put something in my body, and I figured something we could all agree on where I could get something to eat. We'd go to Little Caesars,
Yeah.
and I'd get some crazy bread sans Parmesan.
I agree. I wasn't against it.
But the blood's still on my hands because
Yeah, you put the idea in
it
the
turns
head.
out that every Little Caesars is pretty much exactly the same in terms of shit fuck service because we went, and what's crazy is I had the complicated order because mine was fresh crazy bread, no Parmesan.
Well, first off, the Little Caesars was next to a chicken place. So
Yeah.
we were like, fuck Little Caesars. And we all went in there, and there was not a single person in there besides one man working behind the counter. And I was like, yeah, can I get the 3 chicken tender dinner? And he was like, we don't have chicken. But he said it like it wasn't even an option. Like, we don't have chicken. And I was like, oh, huh. And I like looked back. And it's one of those places where there's just everything. So you're like, I
Yeah.
don't even fucking know. And also, if a place makes literally everything,
It
I feel
can't
like
be
you
that
don't make
good.
everything good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And your place is named like something chicken. So I want the chicken.
Yeah.
Why don't you have the chicken? It was like 3:30
In the
on a
afternoon.
Saturday.
Yeah, that's the biggest
You
thing.
don't
It's not like
have
it was
the
even like a
chicken?
Tuesday. It's not like the supply truck hasn't come
Yeah.
yet. We're out from the weekend. It is the weekend.
Yeah. So then we did pop back over to Little Caesars. And me, you, and Curd got crazy bread.
Yeah.
And you got 2 crazy bread, right? He
Right.
he hits me with the BOGO. And I was like, what? And he was like, buy one, get one. And then he had to make sure that it was still offered, which is weird because he had already taken your order
No,
for.
he didn't take my order. The girl he asked took
Oh,
my
okay.
order.
Then that makes more sense. So yours was like $6.
Yeah.
Mine was $10. And I got a water, but I don't think the water justified it. And then Curd's, who was the same order as mine, was also a completely different amount from the 2 of us. So there was 3 different numbers. So you could already tell that it was a very interesting spot to get your crazy bread from. And then I went to eat it in the car, and then you guys came out. And we realized it was in a pretty hood area from
Yeah.
everything that was just happening around us. And then it took Matt the God, they forgot to put his food in. And it took like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And he is not one, we'll say, for poor quality customer service.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to his food.
Especially.
I've seen him do things in a Little Caesars. So I was just like, oh, he's going to do things in this Little Caesars. I want to say he took it very well. For
very
how
well.
ridiculous
we
they
had
were.
our foot on the brake,
Yeah,
put
we
it in
were-
reverse,
we
and the
were
doors were
ready to
unlocked. We were ready to
Rip
roll out.
But yeah, he took it pretty well. I agree with him. It was very frustrating. And then we popped over to the last brewery where you got your worst beer.
It
I had
was
one of my
a-
favorite beers. It was an iced coffee beer.
It was a fruit punch milkshake beer.
Yeah, fruit punch milkshake IPA. You should like
Yeah.
that should have been like the biggest red
I
flag.
figured
So
the
when you were like
craziest
it's
thing
bad,
had to
I
taste
was
the mo-
like,
I figured the craziest thing had to taste the best.
I don't know what kind of logic that is.
It's mine.
Yeah, it's not good.
Eh.
But this was one of my favorite breweries for all the things that happened at it. Yeah, you get that, and I was like, yeah, that one sounds really bad. And then you take a drink, and you're like, yeah, this one is really bad.
It was the
And then-
only beer I've never been able to finish.
It was, yeah. And again, I don't know why you.
I drink Malort, and I wasn't able to finish that beer.
This is true. I don't know why you thought it was a good idea, but it wasn't. And then this is where I realized Kurt was incredibly drunk.
So
Like outrageously
very
drunk out of nowhere, which not out of nowhere. We obviously you
We're
just listened
drinking
to it.
beers all day.
There was a long list of breweries, but it's like it fucking hit him, and we just ate. So I thought it would be the opposite.
Right.
But he like got water. And they had like the big like orange jug of water that you push down and it comes out.
And he couldn't do it.
He'd gotten some, and he's like, I need more water. And we watched a like big strong man come and tilt the water cooler towards him so it would pour out. And Kurt's like, yeah, that's how I should do it. And then he gets over there and got too scared and only got like a little drop.
He's a little guy.
And then he was like, I got scared something bad was going to happen. So I went over and did it while maintaining hard eye contact with him to assert my authority.
Of course.
And then I come back over, and I think you had said something, but he's kind of laughing
And
and
he's
drooling
drooling.
like to the floor.
Yeah,
Just
that's what it was.
fucking-
It wasn't even caught on his chin or his shirt. He was just like, it was
No,
like
it was
dripping.
kinda-
It was from his tooth to the floor.
I looked, and it was before this. He said something to me that was so weird, and I was just like, "Cole's not driving anymore today," because it was just out of nowhere. He said something. He's like, "You know what I mean?" And I was like, "No." But then, then I come back with his water, and he's just drooling, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Like, why didn't
And
you
he's
tell
like,
anyone?
I was laughing. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
that was
I
his
don't
excuse. That's what I
just-
didn't get. He's like, I was
know.
laughing too
I
hard.
don't
It's like,
just
no, who sits?
laugh and
Nobody.
drool
How
everywhere.
often you go to like a comedy show and you hear someone sitting there laughing and you
And
just look over, and
drool
just,
like a fucking dog in the heat.
like a Saint Bernard just looking at you.
Yeah, it was just like, this is, and we had talked about how we both have very wet mouths and can pee a lot. And then he was like, I remember I told you I was fluidly,
Yeah,
which isn't
not an
something
English
you can
word.
be. So yeah, that wrapped up the breweries. We then decided that we were going to go to a block party that we had been planning to go to. We went to CC Club first. That's
Yes.
where we went. From Kurt's request. So then on the way there, in what I would say was a very nice area, like by the field where the Twins play. Like
This was after the Crazy Bread.
was it?
Yeah, this was because we were driving back from the hood
Okay.
to
brewery.
to the brewery.
Okay, so in between the Crazy Bread and the brewery we just talked about, by the field, took a left, come down the street. There's a group of people on the right, and there's a loud bang.
Like a pop.
Yep, just real quick, and we were like, firecracker? And then we got a little bit closer, basically next to it, and it was like, boom, boom, and it was...
And we peeled out of there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we peeled because
We
it
should
took-
have.
Yeah, we definitely should have. A lady fell to the ground. There was a lot of commotion.
I don't want to say anything that would make us have to go to court to recall what we saw.
I don't know. Yeah, this is just... I mean, I couldn't say what happened, but it's very confusing.
It looked like
I think we all know what it looked like and what it was.
yeah.
But it was very loud and very startling. And then we were sitting at the red light, the guy was driving, and I was always told if people start shooting, you stop sitting at the red light.
Yeah.
But we did. And then it turned green. We start going, and then that guy
Stepped in the middle of the
stepped in front of
fucking
us with his hand
road.
out, and then brought his mom across in the wheelchair, and he was like, "They shooting," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to be sitting here, and you're going towards them." So we got away from that, and then it was one of those things that takes I was just looking right at it, and then you get a minute or two away from it, and all of it hits you.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
And then I
yeah.
started getting shaken. Was like, "Oh shit, that really just happened!" And I just looked. I could have just been looking right at it and get shot in the face.
Yeah.
It was one of those things
We
where you're
coulda
just do 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 do, and instead you should be like, "Oh,
It
fuck."
could have been you. And then
Yeah,
it
boom, boom,
happens.
boom, 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 boom. It could have been you.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh yeah, so it was.
So
I think
so
that
we
shows
almost
that
died.
we're all from a very specific area, because I feel like other people would have been like, "Oh my god," and peeled down. And we were
No,
just
we were
like,
just kind of like,
"Huh."
what?
That
Her
lady-
tits out. We gotta
Yeah,
go.
that's what Kurt was like. I think her titty fell out, which we can talk titties falling out in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was you guys could have lost the whole podcast.
Yeah, you could have lost a lot of things.
Yeah, the whole dad squad could have been dead.
Text 4027 Dapper and tell us how much you appreciate us, because we almost died, bitch.
Yeah, this is very startling, and again, not in the area I would have pictured it to happen.
And then you tried to downplay it. We stopped because none of us were talking for a minute. We were all just sitting there smoking cigarettes, and we stopped, and I was like, "Hey, I really love you guys," and you were like, "Really? That's where we're at with it?" And I was like, "Yes, we almost died."
Yeah. See, because I feel like it was on the way to Fifth Element, because that was that's when you said that was when we got out of the car. Yeah, I think it was after. Either way, it doesn't really
it's
matter.
something.
But yeah, that's what we did. Next was go to Fifth Element, the Rhymesayers record store, which is always a good time. It was a little packed due to Soundset, but if you're out there and you're into that type of music, check it out. They got
Definitely
a lot of good
worth
shit.
checking out.
And then I just keep thinking about that now. Yeah, because you guys were all quiet, and I was like, that was crazy, right? Because I was like, what if I don't want to be the one who's I don't want to harp on it.
Yeah.
Put it on my tombstone after I get shot. And Kurt kept saying drive by. But if you get shot driving by a shooting, is it a drive? It's not
No,
drive
a drive-by is when you
It's
drive by and shoot
Yeah, that's what
something.
I mean. So what is it considered when they shoot you from driving by? It's like a reverse drive-by, right?
Innocent bystander?
I mean, what isn't? No, because I feel like, I don't know. It's too much.
You be dead. That's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, boom, 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 boom.
It could have been you.
It almost was.
Boom,
Very
boom,
crazy.
Boom, 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 boom.
Not where, yeah, there's that thing when they play at the funeral.
Was us.
Boom, 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 boom.
It finally was him. Boom, 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 boom,
You
boom.
sing
boom.
that at my funeral.
It finally was
With tears.
him. Boom, boom.
So yeah, we then we went over to CC Club, which is a fun little bar. Is that the place you were referencing that didn't have anyone in it, or whatever you were talking about earlier?
What?
This is going great.
Yeah, this is going wonderful.
We went over to CC Club. The bartender is he's a very big character.
Yeah.
It's always him. He's always crazy and fun to listen
Jason?
to.
Does that sound right?
No. I don't even know, honestly. He was talking about how he's on the cover of a Mac Lethal EP.
I'm positive his name's Jason.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't think that's right.
Someone went, "Hey, Jason," and he turned his head.
Well, that's just being a good bartender.
Okay, sure, whatever.
You know how you just say shit to bartenders?
Yeah, I know when I hear like someone go, "Hey, Steven," I always turn my head when I hear a man's
You're
name.
not a bartender. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck
Anyway,
me.
we
Just
went
admit
to-
you're wrong.
We went to a block party, Memory Lane's block party. It's a
Yes.
block party at a bowling alley. We got there. It was very hot.
Saw Cashanova.
Yeah, saw Cashanova, who is on Stomp House. Very good live performance. We saw Dimitri Killstorm, who's a producer. He brought out a bunch of rappers. Sean Anonymous, Half Dozen,
Half
Metasoda.
Dozen is the shit. Shout out to Half Dozen. I love that guy.
Then they brought out like a song with like 20 rappers.
And
on
he
it.
said it's coming out this fall on his next
something
record,
like
I
that.
believe.
It was very beautiful.
Yeah.
They had people come up and freestyle, which was also very beautiful. Just a very good time, like better than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But the real twist here is when the headliner's Tickle Torture, who I had never heard of before.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm surprised I haven't heard of them.
Because this
Gets
I
crazy.
don't want to harp on it, but this is our exact aesthetic.
But what I had listened to them on Spotify, and it was really bad, what I listened to, in my opinion, which I could see without all the theatrics. It might not be something I sit down and listen to.
Yeah.
So I had said, we all agreed, like, we'll check out a song or two because I do want to see what it is. If they're the headliner, it's got to be, like, halfway decent.
Mm-hmm.
And if it sucks, we're going to go inside because once their set was done, they were taking it inside with some DJs. So we'll just sit in there and get a drink or two and then watch the DJs. We ended up watching the entire set because one of my favorite things was before it started, I look over to my left. I was talking to Kurt, and I look past him in the area where like the artists are getting ready to go on stage, and there is a woman in a like mesh tank top with black X electrical tape over her nipples
and
nothing
that's pretty
else,
much it.
and a saxophone. And I was like, oh, maybe we should watch this.
I just want to put out there on the record that I fell in love with that girl when she did that saxophone solo at that point in the night, because sweet mother of God, I was literally moved to tears with how beautiful it was.
It was very nice.
It was such a all in your face. Everything was very overwhelming about the entire experience. So they came up on stage, and the best way, and he had a vocal effect on his voice. It was like a vocoder. It was very like industrial sounding.
Yeah, it sounded like my nightmares.
Yeah, but then
he was also wearing sunglasses that had like
a face, like a
fringe.
veil. It was like a face veil on the sunglasses.
Very.
He almost had his dick out at several points. There was.
He pretty much did.
Yeah, a lot of people pretty much had their dicks out on that stage.
Of dicks out,
a lot of dicks
out,
and tits and assholes. There
simulated sex.
Lots of simulated sex on lots of.
We paid
people.
$5 to get into
$5.
this block party, and I will tell you, very worth the money. Overall.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, man, if there was performances at Soundset Festival the next day that were not as entertaining as that.
Basically everything I saw was good, but
compared to that was. Yeah. I talked to the one guy later in the night. I was like, don't be surprised if I give up my life and follow you guys everywhere, because like, man, that was wild.
They brought out essentially what are like, if you're in the Illinois area, what the strippers look like out here as far as what they can wear, like basically just like a bikini, but real even skimpier.
Real skimpy, yeah.
All shapes and sizes
just
of women,
shaking and
all
dancing
sorts
and
of
grinding
dancing,
and licking,
a lot of
and
confetti blasters, like an absurd amount of confetti blasters.
There was a lot of confetti on the ground.
I think a lot of their money goes to confetti blasters
because it has to go for the aerosol and then the confetti.
And then, yeah, the guy ends up, like, a lot of girls are, like, dancing and, like, grabbing his crotch, and then they're pulling his pants off, and he's wearing, like, a G-string or a man thong, whatever you want to consider it, a banana hammock with his ass out. He's, like, getting in the crowd. He's climbing up the speakers and fucking the speakers. They're bringing people up and stripping them down. It's really even hard to explain.
It's basically
I think there's some footage that'll surface, but
I've said this before, and I hate overusing this, but it's basically what I think Sodom and Gomorrah was like before God struck it from the earth.
Yeah, it was like not. If you would have made me guess what it could be,
if you would have told me that I would have seen one of my favorite live rappers, an amazing collection of rappers, and then that in one evening for $5, I would have been like, "Bosh, such an event doesn't exist." But it turns out it does.
One of the women was wearing a strap-on, which I've never seen worn in real life.
Neither have I. And then I saw another one of the girls suck on that strap-on in the very middle of the stage.
Which it's just plastic. What are you even sucking on?
It's so dispositive. Like literally, it's and the girl like it was.
She was also like putting it like between her thighs.
Like
you know what I mean?
That
Very
one girl
stimulating.
was like it was some of it. I feel wasn't even at some point during that show. Somebody was sticking something in somewhere. There's no way.
Oh yeah,
like that was
also all ages.
All ages for $5.
For $5, there was a lot of people there who I think were not happy, but I think overall people were
very
shocked
happy.
And appalled in the best way.
Yes, I was very happy.
Yeah, I can't even explain it. But yeah, look up Tickle Torture.
We'll
if they
definitely
come
have
near
to go
you,
see them again. Yeah,
if they come near you. Again, the music, even during it, like the music itself was great, but the vocals were all crazy.
It's very disco-like in a lot of ways. There's a lot of disco dance elements
to it. But definitely the theatrics, like that's something if they performed in the 90s, they would have been banned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, fucking Rammstein got banned for that
that's what I mean.
Shit,
it's like shit you can't do or you've only been recently able to do.
Yeah.
But very overstimulating. Then we took it inside for the DJs. And it started off very strong. Me, you, and Kurd were out there dancing.
Walked into Anderson Park.
Yeah.
Which is normally a strong sign of a good evening.
Oh, yeah. And it was set up, since it's a bowling alley, they shut down like 5 lanes and put a little stage and a DJ booth. So we were all just dancing on that small area after you step up onto whatever you consider that before the lane, like just that little strip. So picture everybody just feeling themselves out there and getting loose. And then it just fucking took a disgusting turn, and this horrible DJ fucking got up there and proceeded to play like deep cuts of like G-Unit that I've never even heard of, and then rap I've never even heard.
And like everybody just like
I'm pretty well versed in music, and you playing some shit. Also, like, what are you doing? Like, play shit people know. And yeah, it got to the point where it was like 7 people, including me and Kurd. You were also just not even up there anymore.
No,
because it was just horrible.
At one point, I was just sitting down drinking water, right and left, swiping through Tinder, because I was like, this is so fucking boring.
Yeah,
just, like the music wasn't even good. They played the same nerd song twice.
Yeah, they played the same Drake song twice too.
It's like, man, like coordinate better. Like it just wasn't a good
And literally a man that worked, I think, for the event came up and like told the first DJ, or like brought the first DJ back up and told the second, I think they told the second DJ, like, you're fucking done because like you're ruining everything.
Yeah. And
the first DJ came back and like a couple good songs, me and Kurt were like revitalized and had faith. And then she started playing like, I don't know, some like Latin shit, and people were like dancing, and I think she took that as a sign to just exclusively go into that, and we're like fucking done with this.
Yeah.
So then you took us to hell.
Oh my God, yeah. And I just want to say that this was a complete accident. This was a whole accident.
We all agreed we needed food.
Yes, because, okay, so what had ended up happening was Matt had gone back to the hotel at one point just because he needed some relaxation time. It was all of our vacations. We all vacation differently.
Yeah, and it was a long day.
And it was a long day. And quite honestly, it wasn't even worth hanging out at the party. I should have gone back with him, just watch some TV and relax or something.
He's not a dancer also, so you have to respect that.
Yeah, and so he came back and got us, and I'm thinking, like, you know what? It's like 1 a.m. I'm hungry. I need something to eat, you know? So I'm looking up vegan options, and I always do this when I'm in a different city. I do vegan options open near me because I figure that's the best way to do it. And the first thing that comes up is a place called Hard Times Cafe. And they're like vegan and vegetarian options with a punk vibe and staff. And I was like, okay, that sounds like my cup of tea. You know, we get in there, and it's like a DIY punk cafe. And this isn't anything shitting on the DIY.
No, I love DIY.
We are a DIY podcast ourselves. But this it doesn't transfer well to a diner aesthetic. First of all, we walk
at
in
1 in the morning.
They're playing black metal at 1 in the morning. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know how many of you really listen to black metal, but there's no bass and it's just like,
Yeah, it's just very ominous.
so picture that at 1 in the morning after we've been trying to have a good time all day, been out in the sun drinking. And then I found out they don't bring you menus. You have to grab a menu and then an order ticket, write down what you want, the price, and then they ring you out for it. No tax.
Yeah,
It was exactly
Minnesota doesn't have tax.
It was
like
exactly
sales tax.
It was exactly $8.
Well, yeah, it was just confusing, and I looked behind me, and there was a man asleep,
on
and
a
everyone
table.
else looked very angry, and I was like, I don't need this shit right now.
No.
And then he brought the menu, and we're like, I gotta write it down, and I like glanced at the menu. I thought it was gonna be like vegan options and other stuff.
That's
and then
what
I was
because that's
just-
what it said.
Yeah, that's what you told
online.
me, and then I'm like, this motherfucker, and I was like, I'm going to the Taco Bell that we drove by that I had previously ripped the sod of the ground at.
And then we tried to get to that Taco Bell.
I googled it. I'll take the blood is on my hands for
Yeah,
this.
the blood's on your hands.
I Googled-
blood's on my hands for Little Caesars and the hard times.
we're all
You
covered
take the
in
blame
blood at the end of the trip.
for what it's worth. Yeah.
I googled Taco Bell and it said it was less than a mile. So I'm like, yeah, because we didn't and then it took us all the way across the city. And like the further we drove, I was like sweating in the back, like, oh God, everybody's gonna hate me. Where the fuck are we?
How do you think I felt sitting in that shitty cafe?
I mean, yeah, that was my only saving grace was I was like, it can't be as bad as what Slim just got us through.
You
I
bastard.
thought I was gonna get stabbed there. Everyone was so angry, and that's normally my like cup of tea is like a little punk weird shit.
Yeah,
hole,
I know.
But everybody was very mad.
Everyone
and
was
I
so
understand you're either very happy or very mad at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
and like there's not a lot of in betweens there.
No.
But yeah, it was very stabby.
The food I got
environment.
was fantastic for what it's worth. I got a TLT.
I also was like, I wonder how long until I see a Black Flag t-shirt. And 2 minutes later, a guy walked in and sat down in a Black Flag t-shirt. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's get the hell out of here. So yeah, we finally find the Taco Bell. Their inside is closed. Go through the drive-thru, get the food. I'm like, all right, finally we're going back to the hotel. And then we got in like a fucking dream loop from hell where we kept trying to get on the highway. We were using my GPS and it's like get on the highway, and then it's like road closed, and it's like go down further and get on the highway, and then it's like road closed. And then it got to be crazy.
Nightmarish.
It was like the train where it's like, I think this is my life now. Like
Yeah.
we were just in the car, just going
Driving around the
just
city.
driving.
I thought we didn't get back to the hotel till like what, 3?
Yeah, it took such a long time. I felt so bad for Matt, who handled it very, very well. Like when we got back to the
With
hotel, he was
grace.
like, that was weird. I'm going to go try to find a gas station now, which also fucked him over
Because there was
too.
no gas stations open at 4 in the morning?
Yeah,
What the
what
fuck?
wasn't even for? But yeah, so we like had to loop around forever, and it was maddening and like horrifying. And we finally got back to the hotel, finally ate my food, woke up with a lot of it on me the next morning.
Yeah.
And then it was finally Soundset day.
And we woke up to the news that
Oh yeah.
and that unfortunately Amir Van was fired from Brockhampton and they would not be performing at the festival that day. And
I woke up, I looked at a few emails I'd gotten and whatnot. I clicked on Twitter. It was the first thing was that Brockhampton with just a picture link. So I was like, oh yeah. And I clicked on it and I read it before anyone was even up. And then I felt like I had to tell my kids that their like puppy was dead.
is
like
that
especially to tell Cole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was hard.
It's like it didn't even feel real. It still doesn't feel real.
I
It
don't
was
yeah, I don't feel like
the day we had been waiting for to see them was the day it was announced. They had played a festival the night before, which apparently was a shit show, but I still would have seen it instead of
I would have seen it.
nothing. So yeah, like the number one person we wanted to see, or number one group, whatever you want to consider it,
Yeah.
didn't happen. So it was very rough right off of the bat. Like just like I felt bad telling you guys. I was like, oh fuck, this
It
is gonna
hurts
be
so much. It's just
gonna be crazy.
It still hurts. And I mean, like, and that's not to take away from the victims, obviously.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't want anyone to think that, like, our being sad about that, it takes away from the victims' pain. Like, those are people that have been hurt. We don't want to take away from that, obviously.
And we
but,
do
like,
not know the entire story. A lot of
No.
the things that have come out, like, I don't understand where they're coming from. So
It's
I'm
just-
assuming that there's going to be more in the future.
This
but-
this is the first one for me that hit very close to home, because it's like
Very
there's a
close.
lot of groups and like actors and stuff like that where you hear it and you're like, oh, that's terrible, you know.
Yeah,
But like
I never
it doesn't hit
fucked
you,
about
you know.
that.
Yeah, you
fuck
don't fuck with them like
Yeah.
this, you know. And it's like even when like Twiggy got fired from Marilyn Manson for this shit. I was still like, well, it sucks, but I just don't fuck with them like that.
Bands like I loved Blood for Blood when I was younger, and there's one of their singers turned out to be a gross piece of shit too. But it was still like, well, I'm not like crazy into him, and like I'm already over.
And
the
it's
band
just the
at this
timing,
point.
like the day we
it
were supposed to
was
see
like
them
literally
and
like some of the worst luck ever, which I continued to have some unpleasant luck, but we'll get into that.
I had great luck.
It comes and it goes. God giveth and God taketh away.
Well, for what it's worth, God gave me a very nice first sound set.
Yeah, why don't you just rub it in, motherfucker? Anyway, so we popped on the shuttles and headed over to Soundset.
Had to sneak too many things in my shoes and hurt my feet.
Yeah, that's they were very liberal with the pat down.
Very liberal.
And
I just want to say that.
They wanted me, and it went off in my pocket, and he was like, what do you have in your pocket? And I was like, a lighter. And then I was like, you want to see it? And he's like, no, I don't care. And I just walked in. Then it turns out I didn't even have the lighter. I don't know what caused it to go off.
Who knows?
Motherfucking chopper in my pocket. Yeah, just shoot up the crowd, which is one of my biggest fears when I'm around too many people.
Huge fear, yeah.
Scary, right? There's so many
I thought
people
it
at
several
points.
times during
It's
the
horrifying.
day, yeah.
But yeah, we kind of moseyed around for a little bit, take in the whole. It's a fucking big ass
huge
thing, and it's all moved around. So I guess the first person we actually watched, which ended up being one of my favorite performances
ones,
of the day,
Jaden Smith.
Jaden Smith fucking murdered it.
Rocked it.
Like,
oh my god, that was a great
I don't sit around
time.
listening to Jaden Smith. I thought his album was underwhelming.
I'm gonna give it a
back
re-listen.
to
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
because,
he's
man,
got some
there was
songs I do love a lot. And when we initially heard about the lineup, I said I want to see Jaden Smith, and you guys were all like, fuck that, or some different shit, each one of you. But I think everyone agreed he was
amazing,
very impressive.
He was very
high level of energy, a lot of dancing, a lot of just fucking,
a lot of good beats, good songs,
bangers. Very nice visuals behind them to go with it.
Super nice.
Overall, like, definitely. I didn't see a ton of sets from beginning to end. I think really just him and Prof were the only ones I watched fully. But out of everything I seen, except of course Prof is always great. Like
Prof was incredible. He made Soundset history with 3 gigantic pool floaties.
3 16-foot diameter, 9 feet tall. Pool floaties.
Check out his Facebook, his Twitter.
Yeah,
There's
we
pictures
got
of the crowd there.
Some videos and pictures as well.
Yes, Prof was incredible. I made a friend at the festival who told me that Prof was her favorite thing that she had seen that day. And her and I actually went to go see, and I can't stand. I'm admitting.
No, I'll edit it out.
You'll edit it?
Yeah.
You're gonna edit it out
worse
every time?
than being pro heroin.
Really?
Yeah.
Worse than being pro heroin?
I'm still very upset with you. We're not even gonna do it.
I'm gonna say it, but you're gonna have to bleep it out.
Bleep it the fuck out.
Bleep it the fuck out. So I went and saw. And
don't harp on it, because I'm not going to bleep the whole
I'm not
thing
gonna.
out.
I'm not going to say his name over and over again.
Just don't even say it. I'll bleep the whole thing out. I fucking hate it, and I hate that it happened.
I had a good time.
The whole thing. All right.
I just want to say
saw something and had a good time, and we're leaving it at that.
That had a good time. But the point I wanted to make about that specific person was that the person I saw that person with, that was one of 3 big performers she wanted to see that year that she told me, and she already knocked the first 2 out, so that was the third one, which like fucked me up, because when we were sitting over there, she's like, oh, I can go see another time. I was like, no, we'll go see it. It's okay. You'll have to bleep that out again.
Yeah.
I was like, we'll go see it. It's fine. And we went, and I don't regret it. I had a really good time seeing it. You can call me a heroin addicted.
I'll never respect you again.
You didn't respect me in the first place, so it's fine.
I did,
no, you didn't.
I've lost so much more respect.
I had a good time. Listen, man, there was girls grinding on each other during the whole set.
Yeah,
so you're the one who was.
I've seen a lot of girls grind on things that sucks. That doesn't matter. Have you seen what an EDM festival looks like?
Yeah, and I'd go to that too.
I would go to that, but not what you saw. Never. Anyway, and then there was just a lot of me, Matt, and Kurt were just shuffling around, getting some food, whatnot. One thing I do want to point out, it's one of my favorite stories. I love the people watching there.
Yeah.
And it was right when you had met back up with us, and I didn't want to say it at the time, but this lady walked by on the phone, and I was just watching her, just walking right in front of us, and then her titty just popped out. I was just looking right at her, not even at her titty, just at her face, and I felt like I did it with my mind again. It just flopped out of the side.
Gotta stop thinking you're doing things with your mind.
It was not a very nice titty, but just to watch it fall out of a shirt in front of you, it was like God just giving me like a little dap, like, sorry, it can't be a better one, but look at this. It was fucking hilarious. And then she just knuckled it back in. and continued with her phone call.
When I was
imagine having a phone call and your dick falls out and you just kind of push it back and
Knuckle
don't
it
even
back in.
knuckle it in and don't even acknowledge
Okay,
it.
when I was seeing that one thing that you hate, there was a girl dancing in front of me that had like I don't even know if it was like a swimsuit top or what, but it was just like a strap with way too gigantic breasts for whatever the fuck she was wearing, with a water bottle shoved in between them, with a cell phone on the right one, and then just shaking, dancing around. And it's like those things apparently can hold a lot of tension, because I was amazed that thing didn't
I wish I
snap
had
like a
boobs
rubber
to
band
hold
and
things like that sometimes.
hit Prof in the eye when he was walking by.
Yeah, it was looking at people. You could just sit and watch people all day, and
honestly,
that's very entertaining.
That's what I ended up doing at one point, because there was a big chunk of time between what I had seen and then Tyler the Creator. There wasn't really anybody else I wanted to see. So me and my friend walked around, got some water, and then we just ended up going on over kind of by where the Monster thing was at, and we just kind of leaned up on the fence and smoked and talked for a couple hours.
I had texted you where are you at, and you said, I'm just leaning against a fence, and I was like, oh, fucking great, like I'm gonna ever find that. There's a fence with the perimeter. I never got a picture. There's a fence of the perimeter of the entire fucking festival grounds with many in between.
No,
and you're like, I'm leaning against a fence.
Okay,
all right.
This is where I have to take over for a little bit, and then you have to say what happened with you. Because so when I did the thing that Drama hated, we all kind of separated for the day and at various points in times, because we had different things we wanted to see, you know.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a dad trip, and Slim really abandoned like a deadbeat dad. You were a deadbeat dad.
We're all some kind of dad.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be a better one. I'm like your son who's like, I'll never be like you.
But you're also my dad?
Yes, it's a very confusing.
It's a confusing show, but we make it work.
I hope. Anyway,
people listen for some reason.
Do they though? So every week I have news to show you. It just the graph just keeps going down.
It used to be like a Travis Scott ad lib. Now
it's the opposite. Straight down.
It used to be like a Travis Scott ad lib. Now it's like a Travis Scott career.
Ooh,
shots fired.
Harsh words.
So
from someone who just saw beep.
And so I was smoking, leaning on a fence for a while, just sitting there talking. Making friends, people watching, a lot of interesting people. I had a guy during Prof wearing all purple hand me the rest of a blunt and go, I think it's called Elvis Presley, man, and then do an Elvis impression to me and then laugh and walk away.
I had a guy point out that I was wearing camo shorts.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay.
Also, during the thing I saw 3 people getting carried out, which I thought was wild.
Seems low.
Seems very excessive for that type of show.
I don't know. I can see it.
And
it's fucking hot. It was hot. Fucking hot.
It was ungodly hot. And so when I was leaning on the fence, I had thought, I should probably figure out what my friends are at, because Tyler's about to start. Because Tyler was supposed to start at 6:30, and God bless her, Miss Erica Badu was doing a wonderful job, but she went on for a half hour over her goddamn set time, and Tyler didn't even start.
She barely shows up to her shows, so I guess when she does, she has to make up for it.
Yeah, I guess. And so Tyler finally came out at 7, and before the set, I had called you, and I was like, hey, man, I'm just curious. I'm waiting for Tyler. Me and my friend are over here. Where are you?
You go, I should be hearing Tyler the Creator, but I am not. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. Is this where I jump in?
Yes, this is where you jump in, because I was on the phone. I said, hey, man, where are you at? I'm trying to get together for Tyler. And he goes, oh, me and Matt are back at the hotel.
Yeah. Which I was only I was exhausted, and I was only trying to stay through Tyler. But a thing Soundset has always done is on their Twitter, they'll say, if you come to this booth that's like the information connection booth right in the middle of the whole festival, and you say a word that we tweet, you can watch that next artist from the side of the stage. It's like above the stage. It's not right on it.
Yeah.
And ever since we started going, I'm like, I want to fucking do that. That's incredible. But forever, my phone never worked because there was so many people. The signal, it's always been a nightmare. I would text people who were at the festival, and I'd get the text like the next day. Like, that's how fucked it was. And losing people, like, you got a good experience, because when you used to lose people, it was like old-timey days where you're just like, maybe I'll see him again in the future. Maybe I'll go home one lighter than I came. It's like Oregon Trail out there. But our phones were working great, and then I happened to be on Twitter during like Jaden Smith before he came on, and I saw them tweet that you could watch them if you come and say the word, and I'm like, oh shit. So I subscribed to the tweets, and then I kept getting them throughout the day. And when you first parted ways, me and Matt and Cole were getting food, and I got the tweet at 4 to come and say Shaolin for Wu-Tang. And we were kind of by it, so I ran over and I tried to say it, but it was like instantly done. But then I knew where it was, and then I looked and I realized it's always exactly a half an hour before the artist is going to perform. So Cole had went to watch Dem Atlas, and me and Matt were like, you had come back, and that's why we started heading over there, because I was like, let's get over there a little bit early, just give it a chance. I wanted to see Tyler. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. So I'm standing there for like a half an hour, got the subscribe tweets on it, and it popped up Flower Boy. So I'm standing right there, and I'm like, Flower Boy. And then I fucking win the opportunity to see Tyler, the Creator, from the side of the stage. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I didn't think it was going to work.
Yeah.
And so they call us over. I'm like getting shaky because I'm like, that's fucking crazy. And like, I'm just nervous about the whole experience. And the guy's telling us like, we're going to go backstage to get to the stage. If you see any artist, it doesn't matter if it's your favorite rapper ever. If you try to talk to him, get a picture, get an autograph, anything, you're kicked out from the entire festival. So we go back there. It's like very underwhelming for a backstage area, except I peeked through like 2 big trailers, and there's like all these giant inflatable things and people just like slamming beers and yelling. And I'm like, now that actually looks really sick. That's the backstage I wish we were walking through, but we're just walking through like the dust and like trailers and like the back of the stage, which is still interesting to see. And there's like people running everywhere. So we go over to the left stage that he was going to be on, and you're supposed to walk up the stairs, and this giant piece of shit bouncer guy, bodyguard, security, goes, backstage closed. And so the guy who's leading us all over there like walkies over, and he just walks away, and we like follow him some more. And he's like, yeah, so the artists, it's up to them. Like, they can cut off their backstage if they don't want anyone there. And we just got word that Tyler requested no backstage. So sorry, guys. So I went from fucking, like, imagine that feeling. Like, yeah. I'm going to be almost on stage with Tyler, the Creator. And I was like, specifically wanted to look out and see Kurd, who ended up being in like the 5th row. Could you imagine the video I would have got of just zooming in slowly on him, like just going fucking crazy to something? And like, yeah, it was heartbreaking. That's why I ended up leaving, because I'm like, I can't watch him now. Like, I love Tyler, but how am I going to watch him with the knowledge I could have been fucking, I'm going to just look up at that space. I
100% get that, you know?
And then they were just like, yeah, shit happens. And I'm like, you're not even going to fucking nothing? No constantly, like, if they would have been like, you can watch the next performer from the side stage, I would have stayed, watched the Migos from the side of the stage. But yeah, so it was just, and then it was the worst thing, because I lost my lighter before we got in there, and I told Matt and Cole, I was like, I fucking hate not having a lighter here. And they were both like, we have a lighter and you'll always be with us. And I'm like, it always ends up, there's one time. So I need a cigarette, because I just had my balls crushed, and I pull one out and realize I don't have a lighter, and I was like, I'm fucking leaving this hell. So yeah, it was pretty disappointing. Tyler, I'm very, very disappointed in you. You crushed. I was with it when there was probably 9 people, I think. You got to do like a weird count thing to even go backstage, so you make sure like it's not different when you leave. Mm-hmm. There's one kid wearing a Tyler, the Creator shirt and the Odd Future donut button up, and he was like really shaking, and he kept going, I can't believe this is happening. And then when it didn't happen, like, he was the most crushed I've seen in a long time. I felt horrible. Also, right after I win it and they pull me over to the side, there's a group of people, and there was this kid who had came up after I said it, and luckily this lady was like, he said it first, because this kid was like, no, that was me, I was the one who said it. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. So then I'm standing there waiting, and he taps me on the shoulder. I turn around, it's a group of people, and he's like, hey man, do you think you could let my girlfriend take your place for it? And I was like, no.
What's wrong with you?
And he's like, really? And I was like, I just waited like a half an hour, and I won it. Like, I'm the one who won it.
Yeah.
And I said, sorry, buddy. And his friend goes, real nice. And I was like, I fucking won a fucking crazy.
You won it.
I won like one of the craziest things. Like, you think like if I won like a shirt and I gave a shit, I might be like, yeah, I don't care.
Did she have terminal cancer?
Yeah,
This was her last time.
He didn't even try to sell. He didn't even say they were fans
sell
or
it at
anything.
least, you know?
He was just like, you think you could let my girlfriend go up there? And I'm like, no. And then they all look like I was being an asshole.
Like they thought it was gonna work.
Yeah, like I can't believe you wouldn't let my
Wow, I
girlfriend
can't
have this
believe
once
you-
in a lifetime experience that you stood here and waited and
I can't
surprisingly
believe
won.
you won this and you wouldn't give it away to a
'Cause, like,
woman
me
in
and-
2018.
Yeah, I guess I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's come out. Defamed podcast host drama won't let woman watch from stage. Still thinks it's 1940.
Huge piece of shit.
But like, there was also a
Oh,
debate.
what? Women have to stay in the kitchen? They can't go to concerts?
She's got to stand in the heat. Because it was even a debate. Like me and another guy said it at the same time, and it was hard. Like I didn't even think I won it, and then the official guy with the headset, like looked at me eventually, and he was like, "I know you said it," and I was like, "Sick." So yeah, I was like struggled and stood in the sun and won that shit. One, for it to not even work, and two, for this guy to think his girlfriend deserves it more than me.
you.
People are shitty.
Terribly shitty.
Especially there. There's 50,000 people. I'd say 45,000 of them are absolute garbage people.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so then I headed back on the bus and met up with Matt, and we relaxed to prep our bodies for the after party.
Which we didn't even need to prep for, really.
No, not, well, I mean, I'm glad I prepped because I went a little crazy.
Okay. So what happened after Drama and Matt got back to the hotel was Kurt and I stayed and saw Tyler. Obviously, was fantastic. Fulfilled a lifelong dream of mine. Said goodbye to my friend I made for the day, which was. It was a fantastic first Soundset. I just want to say that, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to going next year. You know, it's a lot
to get into.
It's a lot. There's a lot that happens. There's a lot that happens. But let me tell you, man, it was probably one of the best times I ever had in my entire life. So thank you for bringing me along and stuff, man. And it was so after Tyler, my friend and I were like, okay, I was like, I need to text my friend. We're gonna go get water. And so we're walking, and she's like, where was your friend at? I was like, I don't know. He said he was in the middle, and then just out of nowhere, hey, he just runs up, and he is wet, and I hadn't seen him for like 5 hours. Okay, yeah. So when I saw him, he was red and wet and sweaty and very hyperactive. He was like, hey man, how's it going? And I'm just like, oh my god. And so we eventually made it back to the hotel. I was still jacked up because I did a lot that day. Yeah. I did the most. And so my heart
you were
was
very overwhelming when you got back to the hotel.
Yeah, I was also pretty
too much to deal with.
Well, and so we eventually got back. We got out to the after party, and I was like, okay, I need to calm down. I'm gonna have a couple of drinks, you know. And I hadn't really eaten it all that day.
Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it, and the sun. And also, I told you this before, the drinks
at that club
extremely strong.
Yeah,
like I've had a drink there that I could not even drink, which you know that means like fucking.
Pretty sure most of my drinks were just mostly vodka.
If you watched her pour them, which before it had oddly been the same guy every after party, like he just always worked it, and he was like looked like from the 50s, like rolled up sleeves, the nicest guy. I think I've tipped him more than any fucking bartender ever, and he always remembered me, and he always made the drinks real good. They still were flavorful, but fucking like murderous.
Yeah, this
bitch was just like, I respect it because they were like $7 to $9 for a drink, and they're not
like
huge.
3/4 alcohol.
But yeah, sometimes more than that. I gotta, because we did what did you do first? You did something weird. I did a beer for starters because I know how to pace myself.
I did.
You mixed a bunch of shit.
It was just vodka with a bunch of fruit juice is all it was.
Yeah.
It was like cranberry juice, orange juice, and pineapple juice.
Yeah. So yeah, you started with that, and then I think what happened was I like to smoke cigarettes there. There's reentry, it's right there. It's nice to get a break.
Yeah.
Normally I'm dancing a bunch and then going outside. That wasn't the case this time. We were just trying to escape the bullshit. But so I think you ended up just chugging your drinks, which I didn't realize you were doing because we were drinking at a normal pace and you were going slower, and then I was like, cigarette, and you were like, yeah, and then
because I didn't want to like waste my drink or just leave it there.
Should have, I don't know, done something. But so yeah, then we were getting into like vodka Red Bulls, which were super strong, and I was doing screwdrivers because I didn't know what else to do. And then at one point, then we went to smoke another cigarette, and I could tell you were super fucked. You were telling me how cool I am and how cool I was.
You are cool.
When you met me, and I couldn't stop laughing because I'm like, he's so drunk he can't stop saying. You were like, you were so cool when I met you, and I was like, I'm also bad at taking compliments sometimes, so I was like, all right, chill. And you were like, I just mean it, man. Then you're like, I'm going to start giving you money. You were just fucking saying all this crazy
I mean
shit.
that. I didn't just mean I'm going to like give you money. There's a thing.
That's how
you know,
I
you
know.
make it sound so small. Like, no, it was a thing.
I know, but it was at the end of the day, you were just like, I'm going to give you money. I'm going to do this. We're all going to do. You're just crazy.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. But then I could tell it was, I knew you weren't going to sustain yourself. That's why I was telling you. I was like, get a bunch of water in you.
Which I did.
We went outside and I had to sit down because my dogs were barking.
Yeah.
And then you needed help getting up. So I did the, grab your hand like this.
Mm-hmm.
I lifted you up and you weren't helping me at all. And I thought you would. So I got you up halfway. And then I struggled a second. And I thought you were going to like fall down and pull me head first into the brick wall and like knock me out by association. That's what it felt like. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then I like powered through and grabbed you.
You did. You really powered through.
And then, we got you some water. We continued drinking. And then we went down to like actually watch the shit because there was no one out there. What it started off with was DJs playing 45 records.
Mm-hmm.
Like 45 is the actual size and speed. And obviously there's no hot bangers on a 45 anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like very annoying. It was like the samples from popular rap songs that are old as well. And then it was some sort of like jam band shit with like a bunch of instruments. And one of the guys from the Tickle Torture thing, a bald silver man.
Yeah.
Who also at the after party for the block party thing, I seen him on the stage with the DJ. And then he turned the corner and like got surprised there was a bowling lane there, even though it was all bowling lanes. And then he goes, ooh, and ran down the bowling lane, and I never saw him again. So I feel like he ran and bald-headedly just smashed into pins, and then I don't know. But yeah, he was up there. It was terrible. You ended up sitting on some stairs trying to compose yourself.
Trying, man. It was hard.
You were a hot mess.
The music was just so bad, and like no one was dancing. And
this
like,
is historically for Soundset weekend. I've said plenty of times it's the best part of the whole weekend.
Yeah. And so it was honestly part of the worst.
Yeah, well, we sold it bad and they've changed it a lot. Like if you like in that club, normally it's like all the bangers you want to hear. They have some good people come out and perform, and I don't know what they've done. They're trying to make it like to satisfy all the old heads, and it's fucking stupid. Your after party should never be like old school hip hop.
Yeah.
It's a fucking party after a long day of plenty of old school hip hop involved. And so I don't know. So we ended up having to put you to bed in the car.
Which, so I like knocked out in the car. And at one point, okay, somebody walked by me and they're like, what's that guy doing in the car? And so I like sat up really fast and like sat in the middle because I didn't want anybody to fuck with me.
Yeah.
But like,
that was my biggest fear because we had to roll the windows down because it was very hot.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like my puppy. I couldn't just leave you in there like
with
that.
the windows up. Yeah.
Yeah. So you sprawled out in the back and I rolled all the windows down and I was like, because it was just across the street. So I was like, call me if there's any issues and don't puke in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
which I didn't.
Yeah. I was very proud of you.
Then I just want to say this because I didn't tell this story at all. I was saving this for the podcast.
Oh, sweet.
So I don't know what you guys did after I went back inside. Y'all just pretty much told me Bun B was terrible and y'all left.
Yeah.
How long?
He played International Players Anthem, so I did get to see that.
How long were you guys gone for?
The rest of the time, till 2 a.m.
And so I got back at the car like what, 12:30?
I'd say yes, probably somewhere in there. Yeah, it wasn't.
It was close to 1. I know that.
Yeah,
because
we didn't have that much longer, and we were hoping for the DJ after Bun B to turn it around.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't.
Of course.
Yeah, they played more 45s. He did start. It was like one of the biggie like hit ones, like Juicy or something, and then it was like one of the popular Jay-Z songs. I can't even think. I started double fisting, and I made a decision to go with vodka and pineapple juice. I never really mixed it. I love pineapple juice. Big fan of vodka. So I went with that, which ended up that night was great. But then the whole next day until I got home yesterday, and at 5:30, I was still hot pineapple burps.
Oh.
I could not even drink water. I got like a water and a coffee drink at the first gas station on the way home. And every time I took a sip, I don't know why. I like couldn't. I was like, it was revolting. And I kept having the hottest pineapple burps, and I could not get rid of them. And there's more to that story as well, but continue with yours.
So you guys got back to the car and woke me up very suddenly, and y'all were pretty drunk, and you're like, okay, we're here. And so I sat up, and I didn't have any glasses or plugs, and I did not know where they were.
I did. Yeah, now that I think back, that's true.
I did not have any glasses or earrings, and so my whole thought the entire ride home is
You had been robbed
I had been robbed very specifically while I was asleep. Somebody was drunk, and they came and like...
Could you imagine?
I was imagining while you drunk fucks were in the car going, and you made me lose my self-control.
We got it.
Yeah,
I have a video that's very intense.
Yeah, and that's the part I want to get into because so I'm very drunk and I'm having a super panic attack because I'm like, if I don't have my glasses, I don't have a backup pair, I can't see, I can't drive, I can't do anything.
At least it was the final night.
I'm like, somebody stole my glasses and my gauges.
I just pictured
That's what I thought because I was so fucked up from like the festival and everything I did at the festival.
Yeah, that's what I did not want to leave you in that car, but it was the best option, and it sucked because like I had to roll the windows down.
Yeah, and so like my only thought was like someone stole the shit off my face, and then you put on an LCD sound system song.
No, Cole did.
Okay, well that's Cole's favorite band.
Yeah,
it's his
like
favorite song by his favorite band. And he just starts thrashing in the back seat next to me. I was actually nodding in and out of consciousness while you guys were singing in the car, and so I was going like, and then like I'd go in and out. He just slaps my thigh as hard as he can. And in that moment, he almost got killed because like I was just so out of it. And like I don't like it when people hit me at all. And like I'm a big guy. So like if somebody hits me, it usually doesn't end well. And like he just like boom, boom. And like, oh God. I thought about it as I did it.
Whole thing's gone.
Smacked my leg as hard as he could. And I was like, God, what? This whole show's falling apart now.
Yeah. We got to the end. Yeah, he gets
got
crazy.
So jacked up,
we
and I'm sitting there freaking
drunk.
out because I'm like, now he's hitting me. I can't find my glasses. I'm exhausted. He won't stop jumping around. He gets out of the car. He was sitting on him the whole time, both gauges and my glasses.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense also.
Yeah. Just sitting there bouncing and smacking me, breaking my shit the whole time.
At least it was tiny little curd. Yeah, I think we did.
At least it was tiny little curd.
We did self-control, same drugs. May I have this dance? Dance yourself clean.
God, that was a beautiful set, but a nightmare in my current state.
I think there might have been something else too, but it went great. I think Cole demanded that we drive around more to finish it up. But yeah, I have a Snapchat of him at the end, and it's like the best. Like I got so many people like asking me or like complimenting it or asking me what the fuck was going on, like more than I've ever gotten for anything else I put up there. It was like the best thing. And I was so drunk I thought I was filming it with my camera and not on Snapchat, and then I was like, oh, it's on Snapchat, let me download it, and I posted it to my story. So then when I woke up and people were like commenting, I was like, oh, what? And then Cole said it to me. He's like, that was a crazy video. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, it's in my story, I thought I downloaded it. But then we get in there, and yeah, you were like good to go, went like straight to bed. We all sit down, and as soon as I sat down on the bed, I think because I was also thrashing around in the car, and then to just stop it, I felt fucking sick as shit. I was like, I'm gonna fucking throw up. So like turned the lights off and was like propped up a bit, and then I was like, maybe I can power through this. I've done it before.
Yeah.
And as soon as I laid down, I was like, and I went to the bathroom. And I like kneeled down, and I was like, I wish I can never just throw up. At that point, I'm like, I just want to fucking do it. But I couldn't. I kept getting that like, but it wasn't coming. And then I wake up on the bathroom floor. It was just like, and I was like, oh, fuck. And I felt like I was going to throw up again. So I got back into like kneeling position in front of the toilet, and I was just like, son of a bitch. And then I wake up on the bathroom floor again, like boom. And I was like, oh, fuck, I got to go to the bed. And I was like, I don't even care if I puke anymore. And so, yeah, I fell asleep, and we had planned to wake up at 6 a.m. to leave by 7 a.m. And these were plans that were made at like 3 a.m. And then I woke up to my phone saying it was snoozed for like 8. I had 8 minutes remaining, and it was like
9:30.
Yeah, 9:30 or something. I was like, oh, fuck. So I jumped up and I was like, cool, we overslept. And my alarm must have been going off for 9 hours. And I was like out. Like I literally.
No, we were all out. Like we were all
except
done.
for Matt, who had been up. I think he heard my alarm because it would have. I looked and I set it for the right time, which means it snoozed it for 3 hours somehow, which means everybody should have hated me, like even other rooms. But yeah, so then we like viciously packed and got on the road and had that wonderful
car ride back.
Car experience.
The car ride back is the worst.
Yeah, because you hit traffic no matter. That's what we were trying to avoid by leaving at 7. I was
trying to stay away. I don't think we would have avoided traffic if we left at 7. Honestly,
I think we might have, but
not by much.
I don't know. Just leaving it. I felt horrible when I woke up. I felt so gross.
I proceeded to go home and sleep for 12 hours, and I still felt gross when I wake up. I'm, in fact, just going to go home and go to bed after this.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get to sleep soon. But, yeah, I woke up today, and I got in my car, and I drove, and I got out, and I had a flat tire. So I was like, you motherfucker. Not only is real life crushing and disappointing after such a
magical,
3-day bender.
Weekend.
Yeah, and I got a flat tire, and my car just seems completely fucked up. I don't know why. I hit a muffler. That might have been why. The first thing on the way to Kurd, whose car, I ran over a muffler, and it was very loud and very shocking. So that was luckily not a sign of times to come, but it was
an omen.
Yeah, it was an omen, and I think it did something to my car. But yeah, that was a very detailed recap. Anything else we're forgetting about?
No, I think we hit everything.
So yeah, go up to Minneapolis if you get the chance. There'll be some video.
We'll be at Soundset next year.
I'm not gonna say that for sure.
I guarantee I will be at Soundset next year. Even if I have to book a hotel myself and stay for the weekend, I'm going.
You won't be able to pull it off.
Watch me. I'll stay in the hotel all weekend. I don't got to go to all the breweries.
That sounds stupid. Then just go up Sunday. Yeah, normally Soundset's great. I'm the old man about it because I've seen where it was and what it is now, and it's not as great now. It's too many people and too much shit.
It's a lot of people, but it was a lot of fun.
It's a lot to deal with. It's very hot, and yeah, I'm just getting jaded. But
it was all worth it for me, honestly. I loved it. I loved every single thing about it.
I had a much better time than last time I went and got violently ill, and it was still overall pretty good time. I just don't think I'm built. I've been doing it too long. I don't think I'm built for the crowds and the heat anymore.
I think I'm definitely gonna go back.
Well, we'll see. Go find next year. Find Slim by himself at Soundset 2019 if we're not all dead.
Yep.
Yeah, and then all right, episode 43. It feels weird because I know we're recording in 3 days, so I keep wanting to be like, and on the next episode we'll touch on these things that we didn't get to. We got a submission. Send us more submissions.
Send us some in the next couple days.
yeah, and you've got. Well, I guess the day you're hearing this, send it to us because we'll be recording that night. This is a fucking nightmare to come back out here after all the driving and everything. Come back out here and record this. You guys are so lucky. This could have any other podcast. You wouldn't be getting an episode
They said, "Oh,
today.
we're gonna take a break for 2 weeks.
took a break because
we'll
we fucking should have been dead."
So if anybody ever says we don't care about you, they're fucking wrong. Because we're the only podcast that consistently gives you quality entertainment every week.
43 episodes. Not once has there not been an episode. But next week there won't be. All right, bye.
Bye.